Have you ever wanted to start a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily and then distribute it everywhere and even earn money doing what you love. All in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit episodes right from your phone or computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Now, what's really cool is video podcasts are also now available on Spotify. And if you want to be taken seriously on social media, you need to have a video presence. And what better way to do that by connecting with people via your video episodes? With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's all totally free with no catch whatsoever. And ever since we discovered Spotify for Podcasters here on Cut the Crap with Beth and Matt, we are easily releasing new episodes and distributing them to multiple platforms, and it's never been easier. We highly recommend you give it a try. You can download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started.
I also think it's important to understand why you don't feel supported too. So this goes back to kind of those expectations.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't communicated what your needs and values are and you're not feeling supported, that's your responsibility to make sure that you're communicating those things.
Right. Agree. Like you can't have resentment if you haven't had that discussion.
Right. Yeah. And we shouldn't be making these assumptions either. You might be surprised. Maybe your significant other will support you. Maybe they will be the biggest supporter.
Yeah.
But if you haven't talked with them about it,
you have to have that conversation.
Welcome to Cut the Crap with Beth and Matt, the world's #1 no bullshit health and fitness podcast.
Are you ready to cut the crap with your diet and exercise, get strong as fuck, and build a healthy relationship with food? Then you've come to the right place.
Let's go. If you'd like to support us in the podcast, join our Patreon where you get exclusive content, which consists of monthly workouts you can do at home or at the gym, monthly challenges that are either strength, habit, or mindset based, and access to over 100 plus low-calorie, high-protein, family-friendly meals. These are all designed by a professional chef who is certified in nutrition. These recipes are already in MyFitnessPal for easy fucking tracking. New recipes are also added each week.
We believe that fitness is for everyone, so this is our way of getting you started on your health and fitness journey at a price most everyone can afford. So what the fuck are you waiting for? We'll see you in the Patreon.
All right, Matt, what the fuck is going on?
What the fuck is going on? Not much.
We haven't done one of these in a while.
We have not done a one-on-one in quite some time, and I am fucking excited to.
I am too. All right, so what's been going on in your world?
What's been going on in my world? Well, very busy, very, very exciting. You know, I traveled to Arizona a couple of weeks ago to Scottsdale and did some hiking. I went there for a business trip to learn some new things to help our clients and to help grow the business, which was amazing. Did a lot of cool networking there. Did a lot of hiking, which was amazing. We hiked, Scottsdale. We did Camelback Mountain there. And then we hiked in Sedona for a full day and stayed in a fucking yurt, which was like a yurt was, oh my God, it was so comfortable. Like the bedding was in there. Like we had like 5 blankets in there because it was, 30 degrees at nighttime. So it was just a really good experience and a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm getting ready to get the fuck out of Maine for 6 weeks, and I cannot wait. It cannot happen fast enough.
No, it can't.
It can't.
I mean, Maine has gotten the last, probably 3 or 4 weeks for Maine has been pretty treacherous.
Yeah. The sun is, the thing is, it's out barely right now, but the sun doesn't come out. It's like Seattle. It's like just fucking gray. Like if you even see my post from this morning, if like walking into Planet Fitness and it's just dreary and fucking there's no sun, there's just clouds. It just fucks with my brain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, because that's depressing.
It is depressing.
That gloom and doom, right? And the vitamin D and things like that. Like we're not getting those vitamins naturally. So it's gonna affect our mood. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I miss about California, because every day was literally sunny.
Yeah. It's always sunny in Philadelphia. But yeah, 6 weeks in Florida, that's gonna be super fucking cool, which
I know.
I'm coming down to spend some time with you in Florida, which is gonna be amazing to work on this podcast.
Yes.
And do some really cool shit for the podcast. Do we want to talk about that now or later?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, cool.
We are trying to plan a meet and greet with whoever wants to meet us. We're thinking the Orlando area, Melbourne area, whatever, within an hour of Melbourne, which would be like Orlando. I would feel like that's like the biggest city near, like an hour away. So if anybody wants to meet us, we're looking for a destination, which has seemed to be pretty not as easy as I thought.
Right. Because we want to do this as like a meet and greet for hiking, right? So like a little hike and talk, walk and talk type thing.
Right.
So we're looking for some good hiking in that area. And I know we'll find something. We just started looking. So yeah, we want to get everybody involved with some hiking and just an opportunity to chat with us and hang out with us and do some cool
coffee,
shit together.
Maybe March 5th would be the date, Sunday. So if you're around, save the date. We don't know where yet.
Save the date. We don't know where, but stay tuned on our socials.
Can DM us or give us some ideas. We'd love to hear them. We put out some question boxes with ideas, but only like 4 or 5 people fucking fill them out.
I know. We were just talking about this before the show too. It's like everybody's like, "Oh, come to this area, come to this place." Like, and we'd love to meet you, and we'd love to go on one of these hikes. We're doing it. So
we're doing it. This is our plan. So if you want to fucking do it, let us know. Like, don't just say this shit and then don't follow up. That's what I see a lot of the times. Okay, you guys send us these DMs. If you came here, I'd love to, but we're coming there. Okay, so now fucking let us know if you're down. Like, don't be scared.
Yeah, there's no strings attached here. Please don't kill us. That's the only thing we ask.
Exactly. No axe murderers. No fucking psychos. No stalkers. Okay.
Totally. And I'm really excited for this because we want to do these more often. We already did one in Ohio when you were here. And we're talking about doing these quarterly. And because hiking is a passion of both of ours. And this is a way like for us to kind of build that community and give back to the community, get more people involved with hiking to feel good, because it's a really fucking good health promoting activity that you can do. And it's really great outlet too. And just connecting with nature, like for me, like that is happiness for me. And I just want more people to appreciate what our world has to offer us. And by getting people out in nature and moving around is, one way that we can accomplish that. So I'm excited. Yeah.
All athletic abilities. Don't think that we're going to do some crazy ass shit that you can't do.
Yeah. This is our motto is literally fitness for everyone. So we're not going to be climbing a mountain with you guys. It's going to be a nice leisurely little walk.
If we have to fucking go on the beach, we'll do that. I mean,
damn it. But beach time, really? Like that sounds awful, Beth.
Sounds horrific.
I guess we'll have to spend some time at the beach.
Damn it. If we have to go to the beach instead, then I guess we will do that.
Yeah. But anyway. Come hike with us. Come talk with us. We want to see you all there.
Yeah. All right. So me and Matt felt compelled to make this podcast because we see this all the time in our coaching and in my DMs about support at home. And what do you do when you don't have that support? What do you do when you have your significant others, like maybe sabotaging you or trying to sabotage you?
Yeah.
What the fuck do you do?
Right. Because without a strong support system, it makes things a lot more fucking difficult. We know this personally. We know this from working with, thousands of clients. And there's research that shows this too. Having a strong support system, you're more likely to reach your goals. And, there's psychology, there's science behind that, but not everybody has that support at home. So we need to look at some things that we can do to kind of cancel that out or to make the most of the opportunity when we're working towards our goals. So there's lots of reasons we might not have support at home, right? I think one of the most common ones that we probably see is the lack of support from a significant other or a spouse. And that's really hard. And that can happen for lots of reasons. Maybe your spouse just doesn't value what you're doing because that's not a value for them, right? Everybody has different values. Maybe eating better and working out consistently isn't something that's important to them. It's important to understand that our values aren't necessarily the values of other people, so we can't expect them to share those values with us. I think so being clear with our expectations there up front. And if they don't share the same values for you, hopefully they still support you along the way. They can not share your same values but still support you along the way. So I guess what we're talking about then is when they just don't support you whatsoever, right?
Yeah. And I think a lot of people also don't have the communication, or they don't chat with their significant other, right? You can't expect the other person to know what you're doing, right? Be like, oh, but he should know. No, you actually have to express and talk about that. I learned that the hard way. You have to literally sit down and have that fucking conversation and tell your significant other that you are serious and you need their support. At that point, when you have voiced it and they still don't support you, okay, well, then we have a few other things that we need to figure out.
Right. I love that you started with that, because it's being your biggest advocate. Nobody will advocate for you. Mm-hmm. You have to advocate for yourself. Right. So be clear with your spouse or significant other that, hey, I'm going through this health and fitness journey. I'm trying to lose weight, or I want to start getting stronger. This is important to me. And here's why it's important to me. I don't expect you to change anything in your life. If you want to, cool, we can do this together, but I would appreciate your support. And here's how here's how you can support me. Maybe you can help with getting the kids ready for school in the morning so I can get my workout in, right? So it's communicating your values, what you need for those values for your goals. And then if they're not going to get on board with you, then that becomes a larger problem, which needs to be kind of navigated.
Yeah. And setting those boundaries, right? So what if there's these things that your significant other does that you may think is self-sabotage, but maybe you need to set those boundaries so they understand, because maybe they just don't understand. Maybe they're sabotaging, but they don't really understand that they are, or don't know that they are.
I think, would you say something like, for instance, husband brings home takeout at the end of the day, right? He thinks he's being supportive because he knows you've had a long day and maybe you don't want to bring dinner or cook dinner. So he's just like, hey, I'll just stop by, grab a family-sized bucket of chicken from KFC or something, right? Is that kind of what you were talking about there?
Yeah, well, also like that, but kind of different. Kind of like, okay, if your husband is always the one that's like getting the takeout or bringing these foods home that you necessarily don't want to have in the house at that time, because maybe you kind of overindulge in them. You just, you want to have like an environment that sets you up for success.
Okay.
Maybe having them not bring that shit in the house. If he wants these things, keep them in the car. Or if he wants takeout all the time, maybe eat at the takeout place and not bring it home. Kind of things like that. That's what I was kind of thinking.
Okay. So I guess there's a couple of different trains of thoughts you can have there, right? Is this a decision because is your way of eating going to be in direct conflict with your husband's or wife's way of eating? Because then that causes a conflict right there. But also, is this what's best for you and your family too? Are you making a decision for your family that you didn't consult your significant other with? Like, if you're trying to do this for your kids and things like that, that's great. But if your husband doesn't agree with that, then that's going to cause a conflict. So it goes back to what you were talking about with those shared values or not shared values, but communicating and being clear up front.
Yeah.
Now, if, they're consistently being the one that's doing these things, right? Promoting these self-sabotaging behaviors, maybe bringing cookies into the house when you know that you can't be around cookies. What I actually would say is, first of all, is your husband doing that to sabotage you? Or is your husband doing that because he likes those cookies and he likes having them around and he has a healthy relationship with them? Maybe he can eat one of those cookies and be fine. Whereas you, if those cookies are in the house, you eat the entire sleeve. So my opinion is the correct answer there isn't to tell your husband to never bring them in and get upset with your husband. It's repairing that relationship and looking at yourself and what you can control and what you can work on. You can't control your husband bringing the cookies in, but you can control your relationship with those cookies and the behaviors around them.
Yep. There's that too. But what if that person can't at that time, right? What if they're working on their relationship with food, but that needs to have certain things not around for a little bit, right?
Yep.
I'm kind of being a devil's advocate.
No, I appreciate the devil's advocate. I think this is really, really good.
And also, you're the adult. I think we forget that, right? Like, your husband is an adult. You're an adult. You could say no. So I'm going the other way now. Just because he's bringing these things home doesn't mean you have to.
You still have the choice.
Partake, or you can have some, but you don't need the whole sleeve. So there's like two different ends of it. Some people might not be able to be around certain things for a while, and some people can. They just need to heal the relationship with food.
Right. So what I would say is we need to sharpen your own kind of coping skills and your own emotional tool belt in that situation. Are you going to take it on the chin and just take it in stride? Or does that act of having those cookies in the house send you on a downward spiral? If it sends you on a downward spiral, then you need to have better coping mechanisms to deal with that food or whatever stress or emotion is in your life that's causing you to turn to that food.
Right. Yep.
Now, I think where we kind of want to go with this too is when your significant other just doesn't want you to improve yourself.
There could be so many different reasons why, right? They're not willing to look at their own selves.
Maybe by you taking care of your own health, it's making them feel some type of way about themselves. And so they're going to lash out at you because of that. That's a reflection on them and not you as the individual.
Yeah. Or, what if their thing is just a bigger person, right? There's people like that, right? So, but your body should not be up for debate on whether it's his turn on or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is about you, not about what he needs and what a person looks like. If I'm making any sense here, it's really about your health. So if it's more about, what he likes in the bedroom, I'm sorry, but that's a him problem.
Right. For sure. But we've seen some situations where we're working with clients and they're maybe a client is doing it secretly because they don't want their spouse to find out, because they don't want their significant other to find out.
Yeah.
Because that spouse or significant other wouldn't want them doing these things. And to me, I'm not trying to cast a blanket statement here, but if your spouse or significant other doesn't want you to improve your health and improve your life, that is a huge red flag.
Yeah.
So it's like, why? Why don't they want what's best for me? Do they want me to be out of shape and feeling like shit? Because then maybe that's a control issue. Maybe then it's easier for them to have control over you. Maybe it's they're insecure, right? So they feel like if you lose weight and build muscle and get the shape and physique that you want, maybe they feel like you're going to leave them, or you're going to start getting more attraction or attention from the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever your preferences are, So that's an insecurity thing. That's a jealousy thing. And that's a huge red flag. We do see that, right? With clients, their husbands or spouses not supporting them because, it's just a control thing.
Yeah.
Which in that case, like, you need somebody to talk to, like a therapist. Therapy would be great. A relationship counselor would be great. But that's why it's really important to have a strong support network outside of the home.
I was
in those
just going to say
situations.
that. So what can you do like outside of the home to get support?
Yeah. So there's lots of ways that we can have a support network outside of the home. If our home just isn't a solid place for us to get that support, there's other avenues that we can do that, right? You can join a support group online. There's tons of them, right? We've talked with plenty of people on this podcast that have support groups. Maybe it's for quitting drinking. We know somebody for that. Maybe it's for binge eating. We know somebody for that. Beth, you and I both have free Facebook communities with fucking more than 10,000 people between the two of us in both of our groups, Yeah. There's lots of ways that you can build up that support system for free.
Right. Create an accountability group with your girlfriends, you know?
Yeah. Accountability groups. Those are great.
Right.
We have group coaching clients regularly graduating, and as part of their success plan afterwards, they become really good friends with some of the girls in the group or some of the ladies in the group because they shared that journey together and they've been bonded now because of that. And now you're stuck with each other. You're friends for life now. And now you've got that support system. It can come in the form of hiring a coach such as Beth or myself or somebody else that's out there.
We run into also having, I'm going to touch upon this.
Yeah.
A lot of people will come for coaching, right? And I think this goes back to your question of like, they might not tell the husband or they're afraid I have to talk to my husband before I sign on. Right. And some of them end up not because of the significant other. And that is really fucking sad to me. It's like, okay, here you are wanting to take care of your health and your significant other is saying, no, they don't support you and you getting a coach because it's not something that they see immediately as let's say if you're going to buy a supplement and it arrives at your fucking door, they think of it as like, okay, well, what are you getting out of it? Like, I don't see anything.
The intangibles that coaching provides, right?
Right. And this is a very, very big thing when it comes to signing on for coaching is because their significant other doesn't see the value in it because there's no instant fucking results. And meanwhile, you're really upset on the phone. You're really wanting to do this. And you're like, I just can't right now because of my significant other. To me, I have no words for that.
I agree because your significant other, they took that fucking pledge vow when they became married, when you got married, to help each other, to be there for each other through sickness and in health, and to be each other's biggest fucking supporters. So if your significant other doesn't value your health, what do they value? Do they not want you to be around longer and live a longer, healthier life for your kids, for your grandkids, to improve the quality of your life, to be able to chase your kids around, to bend over and tie your shoe without running out of fucking breath? Like, do they not care about those things? I guess like that. So I can't resonate with that because I'm not that type of person, but I know there's lots of people out there that are like that.
There are a lot. Honestly, like if my husband did not support me in like me quitting drinking and my whole entire journey, I would not, it wouldn't be, it would look a lot different.
I'm sure
right now.
Yeah,
for sure. But I'm my own person. He is his own person. We communicate together about, things, but he does not tell me what to do. Mm-hmm. I fucking do what I want to do. And he's there like, okay, whatever you want to do, I want to support you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's the way it should be, but who am I to, everyone's relationship is different.
I agree. That's our idea, right?
That's my idea of a great relationship is, me making my own decisions for myself because I'm a 50-year-old fucking woman. And if anyone was to be like, sorry, I don't think you should do that right now.
Well, unfortunately, what we still see a lot of, and this is starting to change, thankfully, but a lot of relationships are still that traditional. I hate that word, traditional. Yeah. Man works, woman stays at home, cooks dinners, prepares gets the kids, and that's their job. But that's not the reality anymore. That's not the current state of society. We've evolved from that. Thankfully, women have rights.
Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of people out there that are still living in that reality.
Totally. And because of that, we see things like all these bullshit fad diets and programs that are targeting women because of that are struggling with that. And they're preying on their insecurities and making things even worse. Mm-hmm. Now, I also think it's important to understand why you don't feel supported too. So this goes back to kind of those expectations.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't communicated what your needs and values are, and you're not feeling supported, that's your responsibility to make sure that you're communicating those things.
Right. Agree. Like you can't have resentment if you haven't had that discussion.
Right. Yeah, and we shouldn't be making these assumptions either. You might be surprised. Maybe your significant other will support you. Maybe they will be the biggest supporter.
Yeah.
But if you haven't talked with them about it,
you have to have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And what if you're a person that, this is another thing that I see as someone that has, and I get the apprehension at this point, someone that has been consistently dieting, doing something over and over and over and over again. Like what is different this time? Right. And I get that maybe from the other person's view, like, okay, but
absolutely,
you've been doing this for fucking 20 years. What is going to be different this time? So how would you go about that?
Yeah. Well, this just happened this last weekend, actually. Last week, I was talking with somebody on a coaching strategy call, and they were a great fit for coaching. They've been doing Optavia and Weight Watchers and all these fads for their literally 20 to 30 years. They're like 50 years old. And I knew that they're willing to spend money. That's not a financial issue, right? Because they've been spending $500 a month on fucking Optavia.
Right.
But when it came down to it, her husband wouldn't let her because he didn't understand. He's like, what makes this different? Like, are you just going to waste another however much money it was, $3,000 or whatever, right?
Right.
And then she's like, there's no guarantees here. You can't guarantee me anything. I'm like, I can't guarantee you anything. No, I can't guarantee you weight loss. I can't guarantee you results because you still need to do the fucking work. We can guide you, support you, give you a blueprint, eliminate every barrier in the world for you. But if you're not doing the work, you still won't get the results. And that's why we can't guarantee shit. Mm-hmm. So their husband was like, well, why is this different? Why are you different this time? So I'm like, because those diets and things like that, they want you to rely on them for the rest of your life.
Yeah. They kind of set you up for failure.
They set you up to rely on them. They're teaching dependency. They're not teaching independence. When that's where a quality coach is different. So if you've been getting burned by all these programs and your spouse asks you or tells you, no, we're not doing this because you're just going to quit after a month. Maybe you just need to change your expectations too, and trying to stop going for these short terms and quick fixes and things like that. But showing them the value that it provides your life and how it's going to improve things for you.
Or you can say, I understand I've been doing this shit for years, but this time I really want to make a long lasting change for myself. And so I'm willing to invest in myself and do this work, just get down to the nitty gritty of it. Like, you've been doing shit that's unsustainable. And now you're really willing to put forth the effort. And, you can tell them there's no guarantee that I'm going to be successful, but I'm going to sure as fuck try. So then again, your significant other should, okay,
yeah,
I'm willing to support you.
I love what you say, that there's no guarantee that I'm going to be successful. And I would actually argue that, to play devil's advocate there, Beth, is I will say, while me as the coach and the owner of my business, I can't guarantee anybody results, but talking to you as the individual, whoever this person is in front of me, if they can guarantee that they're going to be successful, then that's all that matters, because that person is the one that can determine that. It's nobody else. It's no other program, that person. So if you go into it with the mindset of, I'm going to fucking do it this time, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to completely change my approach because what I've been doing hasn't been working. If you tell yourself that you're going to be successful, you don't need to know how you're going to be successful. You don't know how you're going to get there, but just start by telling yourself that you're going to be successful. You're already speaking positivity into it. If you tell yourself you're not going to do it, then of course you're not going to fucking do it.
Right. And I'd also, I don't know if you do this, but sometimes we will do a money back guarantee. Like, okay, so suppose you sign on for coaching and, you're like, I don't know, is this going to work? Well, okay, money back guarantee. If you check in with your coach, if you do everything we're saying, and you answer every Marco Polo, fill out every check-in, track your calories every day, whatever you do, all these things, and you don't see results, then we'll give you your money back. But if you do these things that we tell you, you are guaranteed to make results.
I like that. Yeah, because and then you can guarantee that because they're doing all the things that that they need to do, right? I like that approach. And I actually, my coaches actually did that with me when I was working with them through some business mentoring. They guaranteed,
yeah, that's right,
in a legally binding contract that I would get the results that I was after.
Yep.
But only if I filled out my daily tracker where I was tracking, logging all the things that I was doing. I was doing mindset. I was doing exercise, all of these habits that were going into the success. If I was logging and doing those and meeting with my coach regularly, they guaranteed that they will, if I don't get the results that I was looking for, they would work with me for free until I did.
Yep.
And they didn't need the guarantee because I did the things. Yeah. I tracked it as they asked me to. I showed up to my meetings. I showed up to my calls with them, and I fucking crushed it. I didn't need the guarantee, and I knew I didn't need the guarantee. The guarantees are for people that are doubting themselves.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, I'm not afraid to say that. If you need a guarantee that something is going to work, that's a problem, because nothing is going to work for you. You have to do the work. So that goes back to realistic expectations, changing our approach, changing our behaviors, period. What are some other things we can do if we don't have a strong support system? I think we already talked about kind of developing our own skills, right? Our emotional coping skills. We can do some things like journaling. So we can do brain dumps at the end of our day, just to feel better and get that out, right? Nobody can take journaling away from you.
Right.
You can do voice journaling. You can write it down in a notebook, whatever you want to do. I leave myself voice notes actually as a form of journaling. Yeah.
I think depending on how long your social support is not supportive, I think there's some tough conversations to be had at that point.
Yeah, I like that, the tough conversations. So from a support system, like, what are some things that we're looking for from a support system then? Because I can tell you some things that we're not looking for. Our support system shouldn't just be people being our cheerleader and yes, you're doing great without actually providing any substance, right? Because if you're not doing great and if you're doing things wrong, I don't want to be told that you're doing great, right? Like, if you're consistently skipping workouts and if you're consistently eating like an asshole and your support system is telling you that, no, you're doing great, keep doing what you're doing. That's not support.
Right.
That is not support.
That's enabling.
That's enabling. There should be some accountability with that support then, right? Checking in with somebody, myself for my workouts and things like that, with my buddy Delsky, when we check in with each other, if we haven't worked out yet, we don't lie to each other. We tell each other if we haven't gotten our workout in, or if we're not on track. And then we rip each other a new one. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is important to you. Why aren't you fucking doing this? Like that's accountability. Sometimes we need that tough love and we need somebody just to call us on our own shit. That is a support system. Somebody that's willing to call you out when you're fucking getting in your own way.
Mm-hmm. Which you will do.
You will do. We all do it.
Mm-hmm.
We all do it.
Yeah.
I do it. Beth, I'm sure you do it, right?
Oh, God, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's why we have coaches. That's why we have support systems.
Exactly. And we have fucking support systems, you guys.
Yes.
We call upon outside sources other than our significant other. My husband is not into working out.
Yeah.
He's a mover. He doesn't give a fucking shit about, his protein amount at each meal. He just doesn't. He's not into that.
Yeah.
So
it's different value, right?
I get my support outside, in that area, like for workouts and all that shit.
Do you still work out with Hunter and Dusty?
Well, now I am on my own.
Okay.
But I do have support like Christy with my nutrition and things like that. And she's, she makes sure she's getting to the gym 4 times a week and getting those steps in. So I check in with her. She's my accountability. Yeah.
If I ever have a nutrition related goal like weight loss or physique or anything, I'll definitely hire a coach for that, for that accountability and support there. Totally. Yeah. Support. We need it. We need it.
We do. You may say that you don't, but you do. Everyone needs support.
Yes. You think about it, right?
You'd be lying if you said you didn't.
Somebody that we work with all the time, I can tell you this right now, it's people pleaser. Somebody that's always supporting others, always giving to others. But when it comes time for them to support themselves and take care of themselves, they fall last in line. And so their own health and fitness falls to the wayside.
And you have to be willing to accept support.
Ooh, I like that. You have to be willing to accept support. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about that to myself too. Right. In certain areas. Like
I'm guilty of that. I'm
so guilty. Right.
Yeah. Because we think we know best.
Right. Or I want to do everything myself. Yeah. I don't need to do everything myself. I need support.
Getting help doesn't mean you're fucking weak.
And it's okay to ask for support. You don't have to take it all on yourself.
You don't. You shouldn't have to. Life is heavy. There's a lot of shit. You shouldn't be taking that all on your own.
Yes.
You don't putting that on yourself. And I know that's a coping mechanism. That's a trauma response. Maybe when you were growing up, you had to just rely on, you only had yourself. Maybe your parents neglected you. They didn't take care of you. So you developed this hard shell outside that it's just me versus the world. Only me, only I can only rely on myself. I can't rely on anybody else. But as adults, that's toxic because it's going to be doing us more harm than good. There's lots of good people out there that do want to help, that want to provide support and be there as a friend. You just have to let them.
And especially if you're a person who's like, I do everything and everything. Okay, well, ask for fucking help. You don't have to be that person that does literally fucking everything. Why are
we
you
guilty of this, Beth? As business owners, I know we're guilty of this. Yeah.
Yes. And a lot of the stuff that we say is because we've experienced it.
Yes. We have burnt the fuck out on many occasions with our coaching businesses.
Matt has called me out on burnout. I've called him on burnout.
Yeah. Yeah, when we're having conversations, we're explaining to each other how we're feeling and everything, and one of us will be like, "Dude, you're fucking burnout." Like those are classic symptoms of burnout, and you don't recognize.
I'm
this.
like, oh, that's what it is.
Like, oh Thanks. Shit, yeah.
Okay.
So then we take care of it, right? We take the weekend off.
Exactly.
We prioritize our self-care.
You don't have to have that hard fucking shell all the time and be like, I can do it all. Well, apparently you just can't. No one can.
So while a support system is definitely important and it's necessary, you have to be willing to accept support in one form or another. And there's so many ways that you can get support out there, just from our Instagram, just from our Facebook and messaging us. Like that can be a form of support for you. But I'm going to tell you, everybody right now, if you're not already in Beth and I's Facebook groups, get in them. They are free. And I'm not just saying this, but they're the best fucking Facebook groups for health and fitness.
I have to say,
like, there's so much so much incredible value. If you struggle with your health and fitness, our groups are a great resource to get you started.
They're free.
They're free.
What is the name of your free Facebook group, Matt? So everyone knows.
It's called FFT. So it's an abbreviation for Fit Fat Training. And then it says, helping lifelong dieters lose fat by conquering all or nothing thinking.
Amazing.
That's my Facebook group.
Mine is No BS Nutrition Made Simple.
There we go. So we'll tag those in the show notes below. So everybody, if you're listening, go join those. We want you in there. Our communities, these groups are amazing. Like when you join our groups, The first thing you'll notice when you log on to into our groups is the amount of support. People literally just posting their struggles, their victories. And then you see 100 people commenting, fucking encouraging you or troubleshooting with you. Like if you're frustrated, they're asking you questions. Like they're coaching each other. This is fucking amazing.
Right? That's pretty cool.
That's what it's all about. Providing people that resource and that outlet. When we say we want fitness to be everybody for everybody, we are fucking making it happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On that note, actually, I kind of want we have some exciting things coming for our Patreon too.
Yes.
We don't know exactly. Maybe we won't announce it yet, but
yeah, we don't have.
If you're looking for
some
additional support, there's going to be some stuff coming from our Patreon that's going to provide that too. So stay tuned for that. It's been a while since we've talked about Patreon stuff.
I know.
It's still there, although we advertise. We talk about it every episode with the intro that we have, but. And that's another form of support. The Patreon is literally because we're posting in there a couple times a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's another, like you can communicate with the people that are in that community. It's a very close community. Support, gotta have it. Gotta be ready, willing to accept it. You gotta ask for it sometimes. Mm-hmm. If you don't ask for it, you can't be disappointed that you didn't.
You can't blame anyone.
Yeah. Boom. Mic drop.
Boom. Mini mic drop.
Awesome. I think this is a good one.
All right. So on that note,
we have once again, March 5th, we're going to be doing our meet and greet. Come say hi with us. This is free. No strings attached.
Come say hi. We're not going to bite you. We'll give you a hug.
We'll give you the biggest hug.
We want to see you guys. So
we want to see you doing well. We want to see you fucking thriving.
Yeah. If you live in the Florida area, we'll announce exactly where soon.
We will. So if you're not following us on Instagram, go do that because that's where we'll be announcing it. That and like Facebook and stuff. I'm assuming. So yeah. Come rock and roll with us.
Peace.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. So why not share with a friend who needs to hear it? Send us a DM on Instagram or email us at cutthecrappod@gmail.com and join our Patreon at patreon.com/cutthecrappodcast. As always, we appreciate you and thanks for being here.